So what was the last concept which we have seen? Data type. Data type. In that we have seen a program so called calculator was the last program. We have to start from there, and we were discussing about the importance of method. Open all files here. So here you can see that we have written this program yesterday in order to perform the calculation task. Correct? Now what I want over here is I want to perform the specific task. For example, let me compile this and show you the result which we have seen yesterday also. Java C calculation Java, and then Java calculation. So you can see that you are able to see the result of all, seeing the result of whole. And so we don't want in this way. We want only addition, only subtraction. Everything should be in a block format. Whenever we talk about blocks, we have to go for methods. So what is the signature of method? Return type and the name of the method with parentheses. And void sub, this is also with parentheses. Void mult, also with parentheses. And finally void def, this is also with parentheses. And void modulo, which is also with parentheses. So now what I am going to do is I am going to remove this from here and I am going to place it over here. So from this, place it over here. So addition logic is there, and then subtraction, and then it goes for multiplication. Now it comes for division, and the last thing is something like model. So what we did, we have divided our program, and this variable declaration will also go at the top level. After this program, we will be seeing the scope of variables. So you can see that we have all the different blocks. Correct? So in order to talk with these blocks, we have to do something over here. So let me compile this program and let's see the output. Calculation.java, let me execute it also. So you can see that there is no output. Why there is no output? Because there is nothing in the main. Main is completely empty. So you have to provide the path from the main. So this thing you have to take care. And apart from this, there are a couple of more things which we have to focus over here. The things are like communicating with different parts of the program. You can see that it is having variables now, and it is having methods also. So there are 2 variables and 5 different methods over here. So I want to talk with different parts of the program. In order to communicate with different parts of the program, what is required? We need an object. So object will come into picture. What is object? Yeah guys, come on, speak up. What is object? Object, someone have given instance of a class. Perfect answer. Any other answer? Object is nothing but a real-time entity. Instance of a class is also correct, and we have something over here like object is something implementation of a class. Okay, And one more definition which is very important over here is used for communication with different programs and different methods. Okay, so it is going to different parts of the program. So let me go with the syntax now. The syntax is quite like this. We have something so called class name space object name equals to new class name. It's very simple. The syntax of object. This is nothing but the object we are going to create. So what is the class name over here?
Calculation.
So let me write it over here. Calculation. Object name, anything you can give, calc or xyz, but it should be variable. Variable in the sense it should sound, it should be very meaningful, I mean to say. So now we are good with the object. Let me compile it now. So still we don't have any result over here because we have object but we have not utilized the object. Let me utilize the object now. calc.add. For what purpose I am utilizing? For talking with different parts of the program. So let me get back over here. You can see that I'm talking with addition. Now I got my desired output. The output is addition. Okay. Earlier we were getting all addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So in the same way, when you go for any kind of application in the real-time application, let me go for any one like shopclues.com. So when you see this, it's having lot of business logic behind that. So it is not displaying everything, it is having all the modules. So you can see that search is having its own module, login is having its own module, cart is having its own module. So all these are nothing, these all modules are going to work on the top of click. So this click is going to call a method. So if they write everything in a one module or in the main method, what happens? Everything will get displayed on the screen and it will be very messy to find out. Okay. So this is what usage of blocks. There are many discussions on this. For example, what happens if I define this inside any method? So this is known as scope of a variable. Variable is nothing but your identifier. What I said you A, B, C, D, whatever you will use with respect to the data type that is called as a variable. So let me show you something. What happened over here is I have defined that value inside this parenthesis. Okay, so you will find hell lot of errors over here, and when you read the errors are getting started from server. It's not there in add. So you can see that. Let me go up. Subtraction. The error is getting started from subtraction over here. What is the error here? Undefined variable A. So why it is saying like this? So when you come down over here, you should know the scope of the variable for this case. The scope is nothing but the area. For example, we have our own scopes in our India. We have our own area. The states has been divided. Cities has been divided. Houses has been divided. Everything is there. So that is nothing but area. Area means within that you are allowed to access. So when I give this variable inside this, it means that the area of this variable is this much within this parenthesis. If I define this outside this at the top level, it means that it is applicable from here to close of that parenthesis entirely, any way you can access. So in the same way, you can see that you're allowed to access over here, you are allowed to access over here, and you are allowed to access from here. There's this, and all. So if you want to access from the main, then you have to go in this way. A value is plus A. And B value is plus 3. So if you go in this way, you are not allowed to access. You should use object. So from the main, if you are trying to access, or from the static method, which is the next discussion, then you should go for the variables here. The object name dot variable name. So how you are accessing a method? Object name dot method name. In the same way, if you want to access the other parts of the program, then you have to go in this way. Okay. So let me compile it now. You can see addition got displayed, A value got displayed, and B value got displayed. So in the earlier program, we have seen 8 errors, and in this program, we don't find a single error also. It's just because you have made it the value. There is nothing so-called local and global variable in our Java. So global means throughout it should get access, but it's nothing like that over here. So within the class you are defining, and in C or C++ you will be defining at the top next to the header file over there. Okay, you don't have that concept, don't get confused. Just remember the scope of the variable will be at the top level, from this at the top level, the starting and the closing of that particular parenthesis. Up to this extent, you can access it from anywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to deal the same thing in some different format. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create one class. In this we are going to define a points. Okay, so program based on A and B. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, in can you expand this calculation.java? Can you scroll down, sir? Can you scroll down?
Sure.
Sir, you have used the calculation cals, we can define this object name as our wish, right? We can use any name, right? CALC or what else?
Exactly. We can use anything other than the reserved words. That all rules comes into picture. Anything you can use over here, but within the limitation. Okay. Perfect. So now in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the points. The points are going to be separated from the class, and this program is going to become very interested. Values I'm giving over here, and in this what I'm doing is int A equal to 10 and B equal to 20 we have. Okay, these values I want to use over here in this program. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is, that's it, I'm done over here. I have defined the values in the another program, and I'm going to save it now. You can see that the name of the program is what? Values. Let me save this. Values from Java. So it's ready for us. Now it's our turn to call that values program in our code, because I don't want to use these values which are defined at the top level. I want to call it from the another program. So what I have to do for that is values val equals to, how to create object, class name, object name equals to new class name. Correct? Let me comment this code. And then this values class is having what? A and B. So just I want to display the value. Plus val dot A. This is just this. Plus val dot B. So let me change the value. 10, 20 we have seen much. Let me make it not 1 and 2 not 2. These two things I'm going to make it over here. So you can see that this time this is the first program might be where we are talking with multiple programs. We have two programs over here. The one program is the calculation itself and another program is values. So how we are communicating that program with this program is by using the concept of objects. This is what a beautiness of object. By using object you can communicate with any part of the program and any type of the program. Within the folder, outside the folder, XYZ. So this is what usage of object. What I said you, it is used for the communication between classes, communication within the class, communication outside the class. So this is nothing but outside the class. It is a different program. So we are communicating over here. Okay. So let me compile this, and you can see that this program is having dependency on which program? Another program, that is something but values. When I go to values, it is not having any main method. It is having only values assigned, values initialized over here. Nothing else is there. So what is required over here is before compiling the calculation, we should compile the values, because calculation is going to take a values.class file. Okay, so let me do that. I'm going to clear my screen. So what I said you, we should go for values.java first, and then Java C, calculation.java. We got a lot of errors over here. We need to, this time we are getting 10 errors because all the values which we have as A and B, we need to initialize over here. So let me fix that first and then we will be proceeding further. So how I am fixing it, you can have a look. Val.A and val.B. These two values I have to define it in another variable. The variable name can be A. Guys, I'm getting a lot of disturbance. I request you all to put on mute. If you're not speaking, please put on mute. If you're speaking, no problem. So what I'm trying to say, you can see that we are getting nearly 10 errors over here. Getting errors is a good thing. You will be learning something if you get errors. So everywhere you are getting the same thing, like cannot find a symbol, cannot find a symbol, symbol. Actually what it is looking for is, it is looking for a variable over here. And that variable is not available in this code. So we have to call that variable. So let me do that. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for parameters here. method with parameter. So you can see that there are two values we are going to assign from here. This is known as method with parameter. Okay, that's it. So here I'm just removing this. So what is required this time? We will be calling calc.sub. So guys, this time I have used method. So when you come with sub is having how many parameters here? Two parameters. So what is required here? We need to pass two values here, val.a and val.b. Let me compile this and then we will be coming for the discussion on this. So this program is having a dependency on values. I'm compiling the values first and then I'm looking for the calc. Now you can see that we have zero errors. We have run very smoothly. Our program is in a position to compile and it's waiting to execute. Let me execute it and then we'll be seeing about this subtraction. So you can see that we called a sub method. And what are the values we have sent it? 101 minus 202. The answer will be minus 101. You can see over here. It's minus 101 over. Subtraction of two numbers is minus 101. So what is the learning in this? One learning is we have successfully communicated with different parts and different programs. In the same way, if you want to call the calc of subtraction division, then val.a, val.b. So what is this val.a? How do you talk with the different components of a program? Object name dot variable name. So this is values dot a. This value will be picked. Val.b. Val is nothing but the object of values. So object name dot variable name. And this way we have to do that. Okay, this time I'm going to call subtraction and multiplication. Sorry, division. So the quotient is 0 for this and the subtraction result is over there. Okay, I hope the concept is clear to you. Is it? And now one more thing we can do. In spite of going for two different programs, what I will do is I will write the program within the program. That is nothing but here we don't import two programs we are going to write. So you can see that you can define this class anyway at the top level or at the bottom level. Let me give it at the top level because it is a very small class. So package declaration should be at the top, remaining all wherever you want you can write. So we have two classes here. One class is values and another class is calculation. Okay, and one thing you have to remember, there can be only one. You should define one class as public. When you are defining two classes within the same file, then one class can be public. You should not define two classes as public. Let's see what happened when we define two classes as public also. So the learning in this is, sure, someone is having doubt, please go ahead.
Sir, is it always required to create the object? Like, can we call the methods directly? Like, is it always required to create the object?
Yeah, it's required to create an object if it is not static. We will be learning about the static. Apart from static, always you need to create an object. So if you want to talk with any part of the program, then you must create an object.
Understood.
Okay. So here what I was telling is in this program what we are trying to do is uh, we have merged two programs, two files in one file. And another thing is, in this one file we have two classes. So what I said you, the first rule is if you have more than one class, then you should make any one class as public. So let's decide which class should be public. How to know? Let me repeat. In multiple classes, one class is allowed to be public. And we were trying to execute and see what happens if we have more than one class is public. So you can see that class value is public should be declared in a file named values.java. So we should not go for two publics, only one public is allowed. Okay, next thing, while saving a program, we have learned the concept like the file name and the class name should be same. Correct? When you have multiple classes, which class name should be considered over here? This is a question which will be raised in your mind. I should save with values or I should save with calculation. Which one I should take? So any answer?
Main program, where we write the main.
Perfect. A class which is having a main method, that should be the file name. So this class is having a main method over here. So this program will be given a name as calculation.java. Okay. Another thing, let's compile this now. We don't need to go for values.java this time because values.java is existing in your machine itself. It's better if you delete that values.java. So you can see that we don't have any values.java. So now it's pretty simple. Like just go with the calculation.java. Once you go with the calculation.java, it will be creating the values.class also. So here you have two classes, calculation as well as values. So it will be generating two .class files. If you have three, then it will be generating three .class files. So here it will be for load, and in the values we are going to use now Java C calculation.java and the Java calculation, and see the output, same output you got. Why? Because the same values you have here. Make it 11 and 22 and see. So that the division will also be valid in this case. So you can see that. Okay. Let me make this as 22 and 22. So you have a division of two numbers as 1, and that subtraction is 0. So in this way you can talk with n number of blocks and n number of variables and all. So for example, is there someone who is having a doubt? For example, here I have a method in this values, and the name of the method is display. So this is used for displaying the value of A and B. So what I want is I want to talk with this method. So what is required in order to call this? Anyhow we are calling to subtraction and all. Now I want to call to method display. What I should do for that?
Values dot display.
Perfect. So you mean to say that we should use the object name, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. So here we should go for val. I'm not getting voice from others. Only one person is talking. What about others? So guys, what I have to type? What is that? Okay. Someone have to ping me to go with method name. Val not method name. So my intention is to make the concept clear to everyone. Okay. And when we communicate with each other, no, we will gain more interest from your side, from my side, and all. So let me go back over here. Calculation. We got a very beautiful error over here. No worries. We will be seeing that. We're here to handle it. System out. Let me read that again. What are you saying? Method print spelling mistake is there. This is a very common problem. Print ln. Calculation. Now you can see that. So the program execution will start. Have a look at the output. I'm going a bit fast. I'm sorry for that. Yeah. Execution will start from main, come to the main directly. So what we are doing, we are creating two objects, the object for the calculation and the object for val. So calculation object is used for calling a subtract method and division method. In that the parameter is holding a val object, a and b value it is sending. And using val, we are also calling whom? We are calling a display method. So this is what? A process. If you want to call the display method one more time, you can call n number of times. It's not a problem. You can see that a value, b value. So what is the learning in this? Using two classes within the same file and calling a method with parameters. So these two things we have learned from this program. Okay. You have any questions? Shall we proceed further? Can we move to the next topic? What about others? Do you have any questions? Any questions?
No?
Can someone tell me what is modifier? Modifiers are nothing but the keywords in Java. The different types of modifiers are static, final, synchronized, etc. Okay? The most common one which is used is static, final and synchronized. So it's having its own scope. When I say keyword, then these all are reserved for with specific meanings over here. Let's talk with the first one, static. What do you know about static? Have you ever seen static till now?
The main function.
Yes, in the main function we have used public static void main. So here you are going to learn this one. And down the line, when the time goes, you will be learning about this. So now the time is to learn about this. What is static and what? So static is a keyword which talks like one copy per JVM. Okay? Static is used with respect to variable with respect to methods and with respect to classes. Let's take one by one. Any variable, for example, int a equal to 10 we have defined. Any variable which is defined as static, then that variable is known as static variable. Any method which is defined as static, then that method is known as, what we call it, static method. Static variable, static method. Static classes we will be seeing down the line when we talk about inner classes. So that is a different topic we have. So let me open it. Let me check whether I am missing something about the static or not. I'm missing the document, no problem. Let me explain you. So static is a keyword which is used with respect to variable, method and classes. If it is used with variable, then it is called as a static variable, and if it is used with method, then it is called as a static method. There are much more information down the line we will be seeing one by one. Let's start from 0. So the 0 is, we have to remember it as a keyword, and the 1 is we are going to work with the static. We're going to write a program based on static variable. Import java.land.star. So what is our template? Guys, I'm getting some voice here. Please put on mute. Public class name, variable name, and then what we have as for the template, we'll be having a main method, okay. So this is what a clean slate we have as of now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a static variable here. Static int a equal to 10. That's it. Let's go with the single variable a equal to 10. Now there's another point which comes into picture over here. Static with respect to the variable or class, whatever it might be. Static can be accessed in 3 ways. So what are the different ways to access the static variable or method? Directly, using class name, and using object. So these 3 points will be clear to you now. Have a look over here. Is there someone who is having a doubt? Let me go over here. Let me take the concepts. Value of a directly plus a. Value of a is in class name. What is the class name here?
Variable.
Static variable dot. And then finally object. How to create object? Static I can't use here because static is a predefined. So static var I'm using anything you can use over here, which is very meaningful. Equals to new static variable. How to access it? Value of a using object. That's it. Let me provide some difference. Here, some distance I'm giving so that it will be clear. So the beautiness of static is it can be accessed directly. If you want to talk with, just now someone have raised a question like whenever we want to talk to object, then do we need to create an, sorry, whenever we want to talk to a method, do we need to create an object? Access directly. In the previous program, you can see that if you want to access any value, let me show you when we are going down the line. So if you want to access any value here, what you did, you have done in this way, very object name dot value. So now in terms of static, you can access it directly. You can call this value directly from any way. And another way is by using the class name also. If you're having this value repeated in two different classes and you want to differentiate it, then you can go with the class name dot variable name. And the third one is nothing but it also supports the way which we have used earlier, that is nothing but using a object name dot variable name. Okay. Yeah, I will be coming to this point. Static will be called before the main method and all. So this point I will be covering you in the blocks. After this we have something so called blocks concept, static block, which one will be called, when will be called, we will be saying all that things over here. So for time being, you just remember static can be accessed in three different ways. The one way is directly, another way is using class name. So this is a class name over here, class name dot variable name, and the last way is nothing but the common way using object. So object name dot variable name. This is what we have. You save this file. We should try to make our class name as short as possible because typing it again and again it's very painful. Calci Java static variable Java, and then static variable. You can see that directly also you got the output, and directly also we got the output, and using class name also we got the output, and using object also we got the output. So I hope it is pretty clear to you, and it's very handy also. When you look at that, it is very handy even. So you can see that it's very simple and very handy. Okay, so someone wants me to go for non-static. Okay, so let me go for the non-static. For example, we have a non-static variable b over here. So the b is ready over here, and non-static variable in terms of terminology we call it as instance variable. And the static variable are static variable, like when you're using it, as I said you. So if you have something non-static, how to access it? There's only one way to access that. What is that?
Object.
Perfect, very good. Using object. So object is nothing but static UTR.b. Then it will be allowed to access it. Okay. Here you can see this is nothing but value of a and value of b. Let me try directly and see what happens if it goes over here. And see that down one, you can see this is nothing but when the dot class file will not get generated, and it is using the previous dot class file. Let me clear and recompile again. So you can see that you have got one error over here. The name of the error is static. Non-static variable b cannot be accessed from the static context. Means non-static cannot be accessed directly in the static block. So instance, if you want to access, then you must define it as a static over here. There is much more to talk on static. So let me go one step forward and then we will be covering the talk and walk both. So is this clear up to here? Just remember one thing. In order to talk with static, we should make the things directly. If you want to talk, then you have to make it as static over here. So let me take the previous program. This program is having very good collection of methods, and let me make this program as simple by removing the values from this. So what I'm doing is I'm removing all this, and now we are standing on a clean slate. And here it's something like check the output. This is not bad for us. This and this. Calculation job. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the methods as static. Let me make two methods as static and remaining three methods. Why to go for three? Total we have 5 here, and so we have three methods here overall. So one is add, one is sub, and one is mult. And two methods are static over here, one method is non-static. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to access mult. So how to access mult? Mult is nothing but method. How to call a method?
By creating an object.
Correct. We need to create.
Mult.
Yes. So why do we need object here?
Non-static.
Yeah, it's non-static because it is non-static. We are required an object. So let me go with this. What it's saying. What's the line number here? Let me catch the error. Static context cannot be referenced from the A and B value. Okay, so we need to fix some errors. I thought this will be supporting for others, but not. So what is required over here is this is non-static and this is static. So static can access static only. Okay, static family allows only static, and non-static allows both static as well as non-static. Let me repeat. Here there is a small confusion, but if you remember two lines, this confusion will be eliminated. Static family means it can be static method or XYZ. It allows only static. So you have int a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. So this will be allowed over here. So let me make it allowable just by giving static over there. Okay, and in order to make this more simple, what I'm doing is I'm removing the parameter as well. So that as simple the code is, that much simple it will be for you to understand it. Because at the beginning level we should be with the very simple concept. So let me remove this one as well. I want to go. Okay, let's compile this and then remove. So here we are getting to errors because this was a static and earlier this was non-static. Just by making static, you are allowing it to be accessed over here, and this static will be accessed in the non-static as well. Non-static will allow both non-static as well as static. So let me clear this by going with this example. So you can see that still we are getting some error. Check where exactly the error is. Value of b. Where is this value of b? The problem is we are making the changes in the calculation and try to compile the static variable. So let me clear this. We are good over here. So multiplication of two numbers is 100 into 20, 10 into 20, 200. Okay, so we have come again.
What is the error that you have?
Earlier what was happening over here is we were trying to compile some other code. See, this was the error, right? So wrong file was getting compiled and making a changes in the another file and looking a result in the another file. That is what it happens sometimes. So here you have Java C calculation.java. You are making the changes in this, so you should compile that one only, and then you got the output over here. This is what talking with the non-static one. Now how to communicate with static? Static can be communicated in how many ways?
3 ways.
3 ways. Let me go with each of the way. The number one is directly. We call add. This is direct. The number two is using class name. Yeah. Calculation.sub using class name is also. What is number three? Using object. So the first one is nothing but the number three. Using object, using directly, and using class name. So let me compile it. Oops, we got some error because of the spelling mistake. Calculation import. Okay. Should recompile and execute. So you can see that multiplication result also you got, addition result also you got, as well as subtraction result also you got. Okay, I hope this all are clear today. There are some more points which we need to discuss and then we will be wrapping our discussion. The points are like this. For example, I have one variable as static and another variable as non-static. Now what's the problem over here? How many errors you will be getting over here? Yeah guys, come on, speak up. 3 errors. Okay, so let me check with the JVM. So here this is one error because this is a static family, and in that family you are entering the non-static block, and here also it follows the same. You are entering the non-static block, and here it will be allowed. So let me check with the JVM how many errors I'm going to get. So we got two errors at the same point, that is nothing but B and B. How to handle these errors then? Let me repeat the question, might be it is not clear to you. This is static, so because of that we are not getting error for A. And this is instance, and because of this we are getting error over here and error over here at this B. And when it comes to mult will allow both A and B, so no error over here. So two errors, error at this point and error at this point. How to handle this error?
We can declare B as static.
We can declare B as static, and someone is saying remove static from add. Okay, by removing static from add and sub also we can address this issue. But
Yes.
I don't want to remove anything and I don't want to add anything related to static, and I want to handle this. What I should do then? Yeah. Come on, speak up. How do you access non-static? Class name dot variable name. Class name dot variable name will be used if it is static. But we are getting a problem with the non-static. Non-static can be accessed only in one way. What is that? Object. Very good. So we need to create an object at every place, at each place I mean to say. Calculation obj equals to new calculation. So here you will be accessing it by using obj.b, and here also you have to go for the calculation obj equals to new calculation, and this will also be followed with obj.b. Let me compile it and then I am going to tell you I am using the same thing twice. What is the use of that? So, oops, small mistakes will always kill us. Semicolon missing. So now we are ready, we are good. And then calculation. You got the output. Now, what I'm doing is, I already have defined the calculation obj over there. So I'm commenting this one, and I'm trying to use the obj over here, the same object. So what will be the output? Do we get any error or do we get the output?
Normal.
We get the error, sir.
We get the error. Okay, what about others? No error? Okay. Yeah, guys, speak up. I want the different views from you all. Error. So what kind of error?
Object is not created for the static block.
Very good. So let me compile this and check. You can see the error over here. Obj is not defined. Object is not created. So what I said you, this obj is having its own boundaries, and the boundaries within this. So what you have to do is you have to remove this and you have to use it over here. Okay, so still there are many discussions on static versus instance. Yes, here we can use in this way. So static can be accessed in many ways. Among them, using the class name dot variable name, and directly, and the last one is using an object. So I hope this is very clear to you. Today's class video is having huge explanation about the static as well as with the methods. So if you're not clear with any concept, I request you to go through the video once again. So tomorrow we are going to see some more examples on static, and then we will be seeing about the blocks. Once blocks is done, then we will be going for the constructors, and if time permits, then we will be starting inheritance. And these are the very small concepts. We have to be very quick in this because we have a very big topics coming soon. So thank you so much for joining and listening my session. Have a good day. Bye. If you have some doubts, you can stay on the call. I will be waiting for 2 minutes. And rest of all can drop off. Thank you, Kishore. Bye, Santosh. Okay. Yeah, Priyanka, you can raise your voice.
What is the significance of main having static? I know
Very
one
good.
reason that static methods are executed first than non-static methods. But is it true? Like, is it that reason or any other reason?
Correct. A very good concept you have brought into picture. And for this, I request you to wait for one more day. Tomorrow I will be covering this one because this is very important for all as well.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So anyone else? Thank you so much. Bye.